Hey, beautiful souls. You're tuned into the Bitter to Beautiful podcast,
where we get real about life, love, faith, and everything in between.
We talk healing, growth, and the messy stuff nobody else wants to touch.
But it's always with a little laughter, a lot of honesty, and the hope of God's word. Because bitter is not better.
Beautiful is possible. Let's get started.
Hey, beautiful souls. It's your girl, Coach Charmin D. And welcome back to another episode of the Bitter to Beautiful podcast. Whew, this one is real here. It's tender, it's raw, and it's real. We'll be talking about hidden in the house, parenting alone in a 2-parent home. Ooh, this is good. So, y'all married, living under the same roof, but parenting like you're by yourself. And let's be honest, it looks good on paper, but behind closed doors, you're doing all the emotional lifting, all the praying, all the showing up. You feel like a single mom in a 2-parent home. And that kind of loneliness, nobody prepares you for. But today, we're not just calling it out, we're unpacking it. And more importantly, we're going to give you the real tools to help you survive it and thrive in it. Let's make it happen. Coach Lynette?
Hey, beautiful souls. Whew, this is the whole word right here. Let's do a sermon. No, I'm just kidding. Sometimes the hardest loneliness isn't when someone leaves. It's when they stay, but don't show up. Today, we are speaking directly to women who carry the weight of parenting, household management, and spiritual leadership alone. Sis, we see you. We've been you. And today, we want you to know that you are not alone, even when it feels like you're raising those babies by yourself. So let's explore how to navigate disappointment without resentment and how to seek support emotionally and spiritually without shame. So our scriptures for today are Proverbs 22:6. Start children off on the way they should go, and even when they're old, they will not return from it. And then Colossians 3:21. Fathers, do not aggravate your children, or they will become discouraged.
Things that make you say, Notice how the word calls both parents to action. Both parents. Training, guiding, nurturing. When only one parent is carrying the load, bitterness starts to build. God never intended parenting to feel like a one-woman show. And sometimes, let me just tell you, that one-woman show when you're doing it all. Let's get down to some questions. So, let's see. Sis, have you ever felt like a single mom while still married? What toll has that taken on your spirit?
Yes, I have, unfortunately. Yes, I have felt like the single mom, the single married woman, like we talked about in our previous episode. And what toll does that take on my spirit? It takes a heavy toll, because when you get married, and you talk about all the things that you want to do, and those things don't happen, because we can say a lot before we get married. We can say our dreams, our aspirations, our expectations in the marriage until it finally hits. Now, taking care of somebody else's children is not the same as taking care of your own. And for me, I would say when I got married, I thought of it as a partnership. Did I know everything about marriage? No, but I had some pretty good examples around me. But you also have to take in consideration who you're marrying. Do they have those examples around them that are strong in that way, where there is actually a partnership and not one person carrying the load? It took a toll on my spirit, because I'm like, I didn't intend to do this on my own. Like, where are you? So, women naturally, we're the nurturers, and some men are too, but we take on a role of the household manager, of parenting, of, but when you're married, the husband is really the spiritual leader. So your parents, both of you can be together. But if the husband is the spiritual leader for the home and is not doing that, we're women. So we're going to take that on too, to make sure that our children are going to get what they need. And even if we don't take it on personally, it's still going outside of the house and getting more help, whether that's Sunday school, whether that's after school, whether that's mentors or whatever. I think it speaks volumes to the children, because they can see the division, which may not necessarily be negative, but they can see the division, but they will definitely feel the division. So I would say that it didn't necessarily just take a toll on me, it took a toll on them. So just imagine, both parents working full time, even extra time with extra jobs coming home. And, I was the main cook, and I didn't mind, because cooking is my therapy. And I can throw down. But, I didn't mind doing that. But then not having the partner to stick with the homework, and we had our strengths and our weaknesses. Like, I was good at math and English. He was very good with science and social studies. So now I had to end up trying to figure out the science and the social studies, and pushing to make sure that, they were okay. But then doing all the extra, there was no balance in that. And it took a toll on me, because then it took away the time that I had for myself. So it was work, marriage, children, good night. And it takes a toll on you when you don't have the time to do what you need to do. And, I did a lot with my children, as far as making sure that they were educated, as far as making sure they memorized some scriptures, and, making sure that they were as well-rounded as possible. But, again, when you're in a partnership, that's something that you expect. And, in your partnership, if you say that, the wife will take care of the kids, or the husband will take care of the kids, or if you're unemployed, I'll cover, or whatever you work out. Life happens, and things happen where the roles may have to change. But I believe that in a marriage, it should be balanced, especially if you have children. One, there's a role for the mother, but there's certainly a more responsible role that the father carries. And it's so important that the father, and both the mother and the father, know what their roles are in their child or their children's lives.
That's good. That is really good, Coach Lynette. I was thinking when you initially said we've been there. Whew, yes, we have been there. I can honestly say that I have felt. Now my children are grown now, so they're, thank the Lord, they're grown. Praise Jesus, they're grown now. But when they were young, and we had something similar than Coach Lynette, because I had a blended family. I had my oldest daughter, who was 10, and then my youngest daughter, Tracy, was 2, and then we ended up getting my husband's daughter, who was 3. So we had the 2 youngest and the oldest. So it was a blended family. So I expected, because we now received the responsibility of taking care of his daughter, that we were going to do this together. I gotta honestly say, and sometimes I think they're unaware, but listen, I was mom, I was the PTA president, I worked full time, I carried us, I prayed for us, and I made sure our kids went to church, I did homework. If I couldn't do it, I brought tutors in. Like, I literally took on that weight to make sure our family was good. And it was, and to me as a wife, it was a responsibility that I was supposed to do. Now listen, I'm saying that to me, that was how I felt. Do I say that you should be in a marriage and you should feel like you're a single parent? No, because I believe that you both have responsibilities, and it definitely should be a balance. It just happens that it happened like that with me. And I do believe at some point, if I wanted to give my husband's grace, I don't know if he honestly knew how to step up into those certain roles, but it doesn't mean that he shouldn't have tried to figure it out. I'm just saying. But I did. And when I say I made sure that I continued to push to make sure that all the things were in places, even when it came to his child. It was just because how would I be as a mom to give my children everything and not taking his child? And I didn't believe that wasn't how I was brought up. So doing it in a blended family environment is very interesting. But you know what? One of the things you do is you trust in the Lord. Coach Lynette.
Wow. That I can't imagine doing that in a blended family. Like, I'm taking care of my child and your child, and you're not stepping in. What is it? And I'm sure that a lot of women are in this position where, you know, there are many women that will love their husband's child as if they were their own. And I think that is very credible and amazing that women do that. And kudos to you if you are doing that, because there's a measure of love that you have for your spouse and to take care of their child. But I can imagine how hard that must be. And I was a witness to the things that Charmin was doing, running around with her K-born. She did a lot to make sure that that her children had what they need. But it's so important. I don't know if there's men listening to this episode, and women too, know your role and don't step into it. One thing that I've heard for a long time, you know, Father's Day come around and, you know, mothers will say, hey, children, y'all better tell me Happy Father's Day because I'm your mother and your father. No, sis, you're the mother. And unfortunately, you may have had to do extra work, but always remember that you are a mother, and then pray about getting a man of valor in your life, in your child's life, to support them with the things that only a man can do. Because there are just some things that a woman cannot do, because that's not what we were created for. Okay, so Coach Charmin, what's the story that you tell yourself about your spouse's absence in parenting? And is it helping you heal, or is it keeping you bitter?
So if I can be honest, back then, I think I sat bitter for a while because I didn't understand how we had a blended family, how he was okay with kind of playing the back seat. But the story that I was telling myself is like, if he loved me, he would help me more. If he cared about his family, he would figure out ways to understand what I'm going through. But you know what? The healing came when I completely surrendered it to the Lord. Because at the end of the day, no matter how your family looks, you still have a role as a wife. Your role is definitely to be the nurturer. Your role is definitely and I feel like the weight of trying to holding your family together was my responsibility. It was my responsibility to hold us together no matter what role he played. And I continued to do it for years. I believe actually until our girls became teenagers. And then I was like, wait, I'm not telling myself that story anymore, that he doesn't understand and he doesn't know how and he doesn't care. He cared about his family. I just think, again, there was men kind of just be men and they be doing their thing. So I had to speak up and I had to talk about it. And does he understand? Did he disconnect? He probably got in his feelings, but I think one of the things we have to do is that if we're feeling that way, we can't just be quiet about it. We have to speak up. We have to say something. We have to say, this is how I feel, or this is the way we don't accuse, because we said that in the past episode. How about we use I statements and not poking our fingers in their face? And I think that if I had the conversation earlier on, because I'm not saying my husband didn't do anything, I'm just kind of letting me take the lead when it came to managing the stuff in the house. Well, maybe because he thought I was doing it better. I'm just saying, sometimes we're good at it. It's like we were born to be able to do this. I'm just saying. But I think if I would have had the conversation earlier, he would have chipped in more. I really do. I think it was me who didn't want to say, and because I didn't want to put pressure. I don't know why I was in that headspace. that headspace, but it was, if I would have said, I feel like I'm a single parent. I feel like I'm parenting and doing this all by myself. If I would have said that out loud instead of being quiet about it, I believe that it would have made a difference. Sometimes the key, we say this over and over again, having a conversation, not feeling like we can't speak up, because he can't read my mind.
Right.
Yeah, so he doesn't know. He really doesn't know how I'm feeling. He can't read my mind. And he could have honestly said, again, he thought I was doing it so well. He was like, why would I get involved? She got this. Sometimes we do that, though. Sometimes we take on these roles as super moms, super women, and we don't even give them space to even help. Sometimes. I'm not saying everybody. I'm just saying sometimes. That could have been my thing, because I think I was caping it. I was wearing the cape. That cape. I was in the cape. Yeah, it was. Coach Lynette.
I would say, as you were talking, I thought about the two of us. The two of us have the gift of administration. And so naturally, we're planners and we're very strategic. And if you have a male or your husband sees that, we do these things, it will automatically fall on us naturally. But then if we do it outside of the house as well, there are some times where we just want to be relieved and we don't want to be strategic. We just want to let our hair down. And, I think that it's also worth having a conversation, a heart to heart with your spouse and saying, how do we balance these roles? Because I do this all the time. And, maybe I want to delve into something else. I think that there should be a balance. Or, we can share the gifts. Like I can teach you how to balance the checkbook, or I can teach you how to, fill out the calendar. I can teach you how to wash the clothes. So it doesn't always have to be on me. We can alternate weeks, but share the load. I think sharing the load is very important for couples to do, so that one doesn't feel the weight of the load all of the time. So for me, in sharing what I told myself about my spouse's absence in parenting, like Sherman said, for me, I wouldn't say that he was 100% absent, but there were certain things that I needed as a partner that I did not get for the children. And so they went without. And as a mother, there's but so much that I can do. I cannot be a man, and there are certain roles that I did try to play until I realized I can't, because I'm not a man and I'm not a father. I just will never be. But I tried to fill in as many roles as I could for them, especially spiritually. I wouldn't say that it made me bitter, but I did grow a lot of resentment. I was able to push past it, but I was very resentful because I'm like, I'm in this for myself and I'm more tired than I, want to be. And then, here you are, you want to go and do the fun stuff. I'm too tired for the fun stuff sometimes. I'm worn out. I'm worn out. And so it's like, now you're the superhero while I'm doing all of this work on the back end. And you're looking like, and I had to fuss at this one this way, and this one did this today, and I'm trying to get everything in order. And it's like, I get the brunt of, mom did this, and mom did that, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, but it's mom. It's mom that's doing it. So I did grow some resentment, and, over time, it has gotten better. I can say that I've been having conversations lately, and the resentment for that has built up. Again, two different people, two different households. But if you do not communicate with one another, and sometimes the two separate households will stay two separate households, and it's not necessarily always a bad thing. But how can the two work together unless they agree? And you just have to learn how to balance this thing out. And you do your role, you do it well. You do your role, you do it well. I do my role and I do it well. But let's find our strengths and our weaknesses. And I always say that your weaknesses don't always have to remain a weakness, especially when someone else is carrying the load.
Yes. I'm not your superwoman.
Oh no, Shirley.
Yes, Lord.
All right. So here's a scenario so that you can look at this situation a lot closer. You're packing lunches, signing homework, handling doctor's appointments. My list went on. Meanwhile, he's on the couch or in his own world. You're both physically there, but emotionally and practically, you're alone. That kind of silence cuts deep. I've been there. I've been there. I would like to sit down and throw or do a puzzle or something.
Watch
Get
TV.
my life, yeah, decompress some way or another. But I find that this happens, and if this is happening to you, speak up or hide the remote.
Hide the remote.
So we have interesting. We have a mindset shift, right? So silence doesn't have to mean disconnection. You can feel, you can create safe space for re-entry where hard conversations turn into healing ones. It's about moving from assumption to awareness and from bitterness to boundary setting. So sometimes we don't want to have the hard conversations and we're glossing over things and you're building in resentment and unforgiveness and bitterness, and the other person does not even know that you're feeling this way. So it's so important that you, one, communicate how you're feeling and learn how to effectively communicate to the person that you're speaking to, your spouse, about what you're feeling. And if you've communicated a number of times and they didn't get it, you may have to either, one, suck it up by the buttercup, two, get someone else involved to bring understanding. I know for me, I can repeat the same thing over and over again, but it just did not click, right? And then somebody else said it, or it was said in a movie where there was more understanding. You have to know how your partner learns as well. Are they visual? Are they auditory? Are they kinesthetic? Do they learn through music? There's so many different ways that people learn, and maybe you're not speaking the language to get across. So it's about learning how to communicate with one another too. No assumptions. Don't assume that they know. Don't assume that just because you cook dinner and y'all didn't communicate that the other person was in charge, that they knew, because you were just waiting because they were home last and they didn't bring, I don't know, that's such a weird scenario, but that's what came to my mind. You didn't communicate that the other one was supposed to bring dinner because they were the last one home. How would they know? No one is in your head, even your spouse. There are couples and relationships, even friendships, where you can finish each other's sentences, and there's a number of things that you can do when you build that intimacy and connection, but it's not necessarily for everything. So have the hard conversations, the conversations that have been, avoidance is not good for any relationship. Have the hard conversations, cry through it, yell through it, write through it, whatever you have to do. Just get it out. Coach Carmen, why don't you take the next one?
Sure. Start softly. Start softly. How to break the silence. This is what happens when you're recording. How to break the silence. Ask, don't assume. Just like Coach Lonette says, don't assume. Sometimes their silence is emotional fatigue, not malice. Sometimes they're tired. We just have to be mindful of that. They're tired. Start softly. Use I feel. Remember what I said earlier. I feel statements to invite dialogue, not defense. How we have this conversation makes a difference. The Word of God tells us to speak in love. If we're coming at them a certain type of way, they're going to automatically get defensive, and then the conversation goes the way you don't want it to go. It goes opposite. Set the scene. Pick the right time, space, and tone. Tone is key. Avoid ambush or emotional explosion. And can I just tell you, men do not like to be backed up against a wall because they come out with a hand up like they're ready to fight, and you're like, I just want to have a conversation. But when they feel ambushed, like, listen, if they're in the middle of their favorite movie or watching a sports game or something, I wouldn't say that would be the time to have the conversation. I would definitely be mindful that it's the right time, the right space, and your tone. Listen, I have tones. My children know my tones. My husband knows my tone. I just have to be mindful of my tone. So be mindful of your tone. And sometimes we don't know that we have tones. Try talking to yourself in the mirror like you talk to your kids when they're not acting like they're supposed to be acting.
Mirror exercises. Yeah, they work.
It helps. Yes, it helps. So and that'll show you have a tone. So if that's the case, be mindful of your tone. Here are some practical steps. Use apps like Lasting or Paired for guided communications. Journal before you talk. That is real. That helps because it helps you to get whatever you're feeling out, and then you're able to approach the conversation differently. It helps to process what you're feeling in the beginning instead of, again, waiting to have the conversation and processing while you're having the conversation, because it can look differently. Try weekly connection check-ins. And, I think this is really good. I said this, I think we mentioned this in the previous episode. I'm going to try this. What went well this week? What was hard? How can we grow this week? Communication, as we've mentioned so many times, it's key. It is key. And one of the things I also want you to do, if you're going through this, have grace on yourself. Have grace on yourself. One, because sometimes when you're doing everything, you get in a place in your head that you're overwhelmed, you're frustrated, and you just want to take out the family. But you can't do that. So have grace on yourself. Breathe. Lynette is always telling me, breathe, and then approach the conversation. And remember, one of the goals is, as wives, we take this weight on. We take this weight on to make sure that our children have all that they need. Acknowledge that you've taken this weight on with yourself, and then pray about releasing the weight, and then have the conversation. Because sometimes we don't realize that we take these weight on. We say yes, yes, yes. We don't realize we're taking all this weight on, and God doesn't want us to carry this weight. Coach Lynette.
Wow. As you were talking, especially with the last part about the connection check-ins, I just want to say, mom, wife, you're doing a wonderful job. Keep it up. Celebrate yourself. Celebrate the wins. Celebrate that Junior or I'm trying to think of her name, or Emily came through and you got through another week. They ate their vegetables. They drank water. Whatever you need to celebrate, you got a nap in, celebrate it. And those moments will help you to thrive and strive through feeling single when you're not there. So here are some statistics and facts. The Journal of Social and Personal Relationships says that couples who engage in emotional stonewalling are more likely to experience long-term dissatisfaction and decrease marital happiness. Gotta communicate. Marriage Today says silence in marriage is often protection, but it breeds bitterness. The antidote is open, biblically grounded communication. I believe it's the last episode we talked about whispering. If this conversation is going to get heated, whisper to each other so that it doesn't. And if someone is yelling, you lower your volume and they'll bring it down because they'll know that they're looking just a little crazy, right? So there are things that you can do, but of course, again, communication is needed, and especially to prevent bitterness. Communication with understanding, I would add that. Harvard Business Review Marketplace Insight says that leaders who foster open communication see healthier environments and stronger productivity. This isn't just about home, it's about leadership everywhere. And what I thought about is you can be able to communicate, but you also have to be receptive to the communication that you receive. I would definitely pray about how you receive information. If you're easily offended, then check your heart and heal in that area so that you can hear from an open place what your partner is trying to convey. Pew Research says that in 46% of two-parent homes, mothers handle most of the parenting duties. Barna Research says that Christian households where mothers lead spiritual formation are more likely to see burnout when fathers don't engage. Well, that's the truth.
They get rest and sleep. We do all the work. I'm sorry. I don't need to laugh. Oh, Lord. My God, today. But can I just say one of the things that and I know this is maybe off topic but on topic. I just have to make this statement. Sometimes we have a fantasy of what life is supposed to be when we get married. And we hold on to that fantasy, and that fantasy becomes gripping and a stronghold that we need to release, because sometimes we have to embrace the reality of what it is. And once we embrace that reality of what it is, then we can at least pray for peace. I'm just saying. Right. So what I think you should do is let go of what you thought it should be and then ask God, how can I thrive in what it is? And what it is, meaning I need to pray for my husband because he looked a total different way before we got married. And now I'm taking all the weight. So Lord, I need you to help me with seeing him the way you see him. Let's first do that and pray for him. We don't pray for our husbands the way, and let me say me. I did not pray for my husband the way I should. I might have been praying I wasn't supposed to, but I did not. And now I realize that if I had prayed, then that probably would have opened his ears more if I would have prayed, God, let him hear and see how I'm carrying the weight. I had to say that. So
that's it.
Here is a biblical example. Eli and his sons in 1 Samuel 2. Eli was physically present, but emotionally and spiritually absent in his sons' lives. His failure to correct and engage led to their downfall and judgment on their house. Silence has consequences for marriage, for children, and for legacy. Go find that.
That's good. That is really good. For marriage, for children, and for legacy. Speak up. Speak up. Because if it's brewing inside, if it brews outside, it's not going to be good. So I've learned that even when small things come up, to try to nip it in the bud. And I've said it before, like I process through different feelings and emotions, and it may take longer because one, I want to make sure that my response is Christ-like. Because I think as you mature, you learn that if you yell or have been in environments where there's yelling or any type of dysfunctional arguing, you learn how to handle things differently, so that you don't, like, I can say for myself that I was silent, and it moved into my adulthood, but then I learned how to communicate, and how to communicate clearly. And I've learned to just sit in my feelings, figure out what's going on, understand my emotion, and articulate my feelings in a way that doesn't necessarily cause harm. Now, sometimes, depending on what happens in life, you may have a moment, but this should not be several moments of that. That's something that needs to be checked in ourselves. So if you were silent, I pray that you will find your voice and be able to speak up. So here are some practical steps. Create a parenting calendar. Split tasks visibly so the weight is shared. Google has family calendars. There are different things that you can do. There's Calendly, and everybody can share the calendar. You can color code it. They have paper calendars. They have the erasable ones that you can put up on the wall for everybody to see. And just do your part. Split the task and make sure it's visible. When you, as the parents, are united, the children will be much better. Pray with your children and don't wait on your spouse to model spiritual leadership. That's a big one. Even though it's the role of the husband to model, to be the priest of the home, if he's not doing it, don't let your children suffer without any type of spiritual leadership in their home. Okay? Speak up with grace. Silence protects no one. It prolongs pain and it buries it. And the longer and the deeper it's buried, it can produce more pain and come out in many different ways, whether in your actions, with your speech, with uncontrolled emotions, and just altogether a lack of, well, it just leads to spiraling at that point when it's suppressed pain. You take it out on people that don't necessarily deserve it, especially if you're triggered. Protect your peace. If they won't engage, don't sacrifice yourself trying to carry it all. You play your mother role, and that's what you do. You understand what the duties are for your role as a mother to nurture and to lead your children and to make sure they take care of themselves and their home and uh, discover timeliness, and but don't carry it all. Get help. Get a supportive village. I would definitely recommend that. Where y'all can trade kids every once in a while. You going out? I want to go out tonight. Can you watch my children? Get what you need. Get what you need. Coach Harmon.
Yeah, that is good. The supportive village is an amazing thing. I remember when Tracy was 2 and my Lachey was older, my best friend would come and take her every weekend, and that would give me a time to kind of process things. And this is while I was married. She would come and take Tracy. So I'm telling you, the village makes a difference. It's real when it takes a village. I'm telling you right now. So sis, if this is your reality, you're not alone. Parenting alone in a 2-parent home is exhausting, but God sees you. He honors the seed that you sow in your children. He sees you.
He knows, he cares, he sees, he's there, he's concerned about you. I don't know why I just sang, but I pray that it blesses you. Remember, sis, that you are not failing. You're faithfully showing up. Even if your partner doesn't step in today, God is still multiplying the love and labor you pour in. So if today's episode resonated with you, don't keep it to yourself. Like this episode, subscribe wherever you're listening, and leave us a comment or a review down below and share how God is moving in your life through these episodes. Visit us at bittertobeautiful.com to subscribe and join us on YouTube and social media for live and behind the scenes moments.
Oh, yes. Again, you can subscribe at bittertobeautiful.com, where you receive bonus content via email to help you walk through this journey, or walk out this journey.
So until next time, stay bold, stay blessed,
and never forget, God doesn't want you bitter.
He wants you beautiful.
We hope you enjoyed this powerful conversation. Remember, your story doesn't end in bitterness.
Because with God, you can always rise, heal, and become beautifully whole.
Want more? Visit bittertobeautiful.com to subscribe
and connect with us on YouTube and social media for live talks and behind the scene moments.
Until next time, stay beautiful,
stay bold, and stay blessed.